Well, our parenting expert, Nikki Bush, is in studio this morning. We're chatting about the growing phenomenon called nature deficit disorder and how this is beginning to affect our youth.
So earlier, we spoke about a rather serious topic, nature deficit disorder, which basically means a disconnect from nature and how badly it's affecting our children. We are going to continue that conversation now with our regular creative parenting expert, Miss Nikki Bush, loving the fact that, certainly from a South African perspective, that there is now this onus, a greater pressure to get outdoors, go and explore and let the spirit fly free. So give us a recap. What is the deficit disorder when it comes to nature?
So we're asking our children to look after this planet that is ailing. We've got rainforests that are dying, and we've got, fish that aren't going to be there anymore. And how do we actually get our children to commit to protecting this if they've not had any connection to it?
They haven't invested emotionally
Exactly.
in it.
So we really have to get our children out and about, beyond just looking at these wonderful TV programs about what's happening on the planet. We need to get them to smell the sea air and to feel the grass and to go to the bush and see rhinos in their, in situ, in order for them to actually get it.
Otherwise, they will take for granted what we really do have right on our doorstep. So let's keep it practical for now. We don't have the money to go into the bush, yet we have got a garden.
We do.
How do we get practical in autumn to connect with nature?
Oh, such a lovely time of the year. The changing colours of the leaves, the falling of the leaves. If you've got little ones and there are piles of leaves, or rake up all those leaves into a pile. I'll never forget getting my kids out in gumboots to go and kick their way through the leaves, and they loved that, and throwing them up in the air and seeing how they come down, how they twirl and fall. That's science, actually. Seeing how leaves and air and gravity work together. But there are lots of craft activities one can do with autumn leaves, and they're just so beautiful. And you know how we decorate our homes at Christmas time?
Yeah.
Well, you can decorate your homes during autumn. You can make garlands that go, along the fireplace. You can dip autumn leaves in beeswax, and then it preserves the colour. Kids love Sharpies and they love doodling. You can get autumn leaves and they can draw on autumn leaves.
Yeah, we used to do that as well, where you stencil things as well.
That's like a rubbing, where you put an autumn leaf under a piece of paper and you take a crayon and you rub on top, and then you see all the veins and the shapes come out. You can put autumn leaves on pieces of paper and give children runny paint on paintbrushes, and they can do spatter painting. And then when they lift up the paint, the leaf, there's the shape.
Kind of negative profile.
And what about taking glass jars, and then you stick autumn leaves on using something called Mod Podge, and then you can put a little tea light candle inside. And the best thing about that is that you can then have a dinner under the stars, because at the change of seasons, when we're going from summer into autumn, it's still warm enough to sit outside, not under the patio, under the stars.
And then a whole different side of our connection to nature comes out.
Fantastic.
Oh, I absolutely love that. How soon can we start? You've mentioned there are children that will cry when their feet touch grass because it's sharp and it's so foreign. When can we introduce them to grass and sand and all things beautiful?
From literally the time they're sort of a couple of months old, you can, hold them and make them go walkies on the grass while you're holding them. Get them to crawl on the grass. Get them to feel different environments, different textures, and just encourage them to connect and fall in love with nature.
If I could ask you to round up with just one last message. We know this is for the parents, not just for the kids, but we also find it hugely restorative, and I think we often miss that in these opportunities to grow our children, there is an opportunity for us as well.
Absolutely. For me, nature is about grounding myself and just slowing down and smelling the roses, so to speak. Remember, we're multisensory beings. Often we're very busy, in a rush, and we sit behind screens a lot. Being with nature is almost the opposite. So get out there and connect yourself.
And luckily enough, you live in quite possibly the most beautiful country on the planet to be able to do just that. Well, hopefully we have helped you in some way go out and connect once again with nature. I'm going to give you the same tip I did earlier in our segment. Go outside right now and listen to the wind blowing through the trees and just soak it up. Take your shoes off as well and feel the grass.